Greens thrive in the winter in the southern United States. The cooler temperatures prevent the plants from getting tough and going to seed too fast. Once flowers and seeds start sprouting up from plants, it is commonly referred to as going to seed. The older leaves on the plants are getting both bitter and tough. This fall season, we are growing mustards, broccoli, collards, cabbage, carrots, radish, turnip, kale, and Swiss chard in our garden. Usually root vegetable seeds are direct seeded into the garden. Direct seeding means you simply put the seed directly into the garden and wait for it to grow. The key is to plant a seed as deep as the seed is big. For a small seed, you hardly have to put any soil on top, but for a larger seed, more soil is required to plant the seed. We are also sowing the seeds of leafy mustard greens. Some seeds are very tiny. Our gardener, Stephanie Elwood, is drawing a small trench into the garden to lay the seeds into. She takes a pinch of seeds and spreads them evenly throughout the trench. After laying the seeds down, someone will come behind her and cover the trench of seeds. Remember, it is a small seed. It doesn't need a lot of soil on the top of it to grow. It is okay if the plants sprout up a little too close. As soon as the plants are 4 or 5 inches tall, you can thin them out by pulling the extra plants up, snapping the roots off of them, and cooking the rest, stems and all. The younger the plants, the better they taste to many people. Just make sure you wash the mustards several times because they grow close to the ground and they can get quite dirty. You can also create a trench for your kale and Swiss chard seeds. Again, you will be working with tiny seeds, planting the seeds as deep as the seeds are big. Once again, if you end up with too many plants, you can thin them out by replanting the extra plants in a more spacious area, or simply throw the extra plants into a compost pile. We're transplanting broccoli, cabbage, collards, and lettuce. This is to say we have gone to a nursery and purchased some baby plants. It is important to know how to plant transplants the correct way. One way to remember is to dig a hole and cover the root ball with soil as if it were a baby you were tucking in to sleep at night. Once the soil is covering the root ball, you can say, "Good night, little plant," and be sure to press the soil down around the plant to get good root to soil contact. We're spacing our broccoli, cabbage, and collard transplants about 1 foot or 12 inches apart. After planting, it is important to remember to water your plants. Once our broccoli starts producing little florets, you can leave the root and stalk in the ground and just cut the florets away as they grow. Or you can wait until the plant is fully mature and cut off the whole broccoli head and then harvest the florets from the stalk. When harvesting collards, mustard, kale, and Swiss chard, you should clip a few of the outer larger leaves at a time throughout the winter, leaving the stalk in the ground to grow new leaves until the weather gets too hot for the plants. We can eat the tops of the turnips and also cook and eat the roots. Turnip seeds and mustard seeds are very small and similar in size, so we can plant them the same way. The roots of turnips usually take about 40 to 50 days to mature. We will do the same thing with radish and carrots. Sow the seeds just far enough apart for each root to have space to mature. The radishes mature quickly and will be ready to harvest in about 3 weeks. Carrots are slower growing vegetables. It will take them about 75 days to reach maturity. We have also picked up a few parsley and cilantro plants for our winter garden. We are planting them the same way we did our broccoli transplants. Both will spread out nicely, and 1 or 2 plants will go a long way. Oregano and many other herbs grow well during the winter months. Check your nursery to see what's available. Fall is also a good time to plant strawberries. We have bought some sets and are going to space them about 12 inches apart. These plants don't have any soil on the roots. When we plant bare root strawberry plants, we need to be sure to dig a hole deep enough for the roots to be straight in the ground. We don't want the roots to make a J shape. Strawberry plants will be in the ground all through the winter, and we will be eating fresh strawberries next spring. We will be eating salads and fresh greens in a few weeks. A little later, our broccoli and cabbage will be ready to harvest. A short time later, we will have our own root crops such as carrots, radish, and turnips. You can have your own fall crop too if you start planting now. Working in the garden and eating fresh vegetables are great ways to stay healthy.
Funding for this project was provided by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, National Institute of Food and Agriculture.